The Chicago Bears have a new front office regime, and this was their first 2025 NFL draft. So, how do they end up doing? My name is Tyler here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to be breaking down the Bears rookie draft class from the 2025 NFL draft. But before we do that, Ryan is getting married here in a couple of weeks. So, send him a early wedding day present by hitting that subscribe button, tackling that bell, and even leaving a like and a comment. Let us know your thoughts on the Bears draft. And Ryan, let's pull up the picks here. So, in
Let's
the
do it.
first round, 10th overall pick, the Bears drafted Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan. Then they got Luther Burden, receiver from Missouri, in the second round. And also in the second round, Ozzy Trapilo from offensive tackle from Boston College. And then another second round pick, Shemar Turner, defensive tackle from Texas A&M. Then on day 3, they got Ruben Hyppolite, the second linebacker from Maryland. Then Zah Frazier from University of Texas San Antonio, cornerback from UTSA. Then in the sixth round, Luke Newman, offensive tackle for Michigan State. And then wrapping up their draft, I think a good value sleeper pick, Kyle Monangai, running back from Rutgers. So,
Yeah.
Ryan, just my initial thoughts when looking at this is definitely one you can see the thumbprint of what Ben Johnson wants in his in the Chicago Bears offense. And if you look at the guys that they added here and the moves that they made to free agency on that offensive line side of the ball, it's like on paper, I'm
Yeah.
expecting a lot from the Chicago Bears offense. I really like the addition of Colston Loveland. It does, I think, to me, signify then an eventual transition, obviously, from Cole Kmet whenever that time will come. And we see this sometimes with like guys who's a solid player, but also he's not a franchise player. And when a new regime comes in, it's like, hey, we want to go get our guy. So, and I
Yeah.
think Colston Loveland has the traits to be the one of the more premier tight ends in this system, and he's coming into a great situation. Same thing with Luther Burden too. I mean, Ben Johnson's
Yeah.
going to love his yak guys. I think he's going to kind of fall into that Amon-Ra St. Brown type role. But I want to throw it over to you. What are your thoughts on the Bears drafts and then some of the other players that they selected?
Yeah. I thought the Bears did a good job overall. The Colston Loveland pick, I thought maybe was a little high. I had Tyler Warren as my tight end one on the board. And then also too, I think historically you look Brock Bowers being the exception. First round tight ends don't usually outperform their like their day two counterparts by nearly the margin. So that's like my only issue there. But I love the player. He was one of the better just overall receivers in this class. And then to turn around and get Luther Burden to add to that group, I think that's a fantastic value there as well for the second round. So I really like the two pass catchers there. The Ozzy Trapilo pick I like a lot. He was a right tackle at Boston College, but he's been training to kind of be a swing tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you look there, they have they drafted Darnell Wright. They have Braxton Jones on the left side, and I think that maybe they just need somebody to push for competition there and be a high level backup. And I think that's what Ozzy Trapilo can be. And then Shamar Turner's a disruptive interior defensive lineman. I like the fit. They needed it. I would have liked to see them maybe go edge rusher. That's besides like the tight end value at 10. I think that's probably my only other issue. And when I say the tight end value, I like Colston Loveland, and I'm not faulting them for the pick. He was a clear like first round talent. It's just typically tight ends don't have similar to running backs don't have the extra value worth taking them there. But
Yeah,
I don't. This was a weird class, so positional value can kind of go out the window a little bit. So I thought they did a really good job. They got some really good value. Yeah, Kyle Monangai at the end of day 3 is good value as well. I like what they did. They added a lot of good pieces.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point about the tight end. I do think, like, especially, I mean, Brock Bowers last year is just a total like outlier exception. That being said, though, too, it's Colson Loveland had pretty consistent production throughout his
Yeah,
entire career at Michigan with subpar quarterback play. And I know even too he had JJ McCarthy last year, but it was definitely a run first team, a very run heavy team. So his numbers weren't like he was
yeah,
still the go to guy there. And so Tyler Warren, I to your point there with personal preference. I I I, uh, I think with where they were picking at, it's like they missed out on, like, the cleared blue chip guys, and then if they were gonna go get an
yeah,
edge rusher, go get somebody else, they could have waited and gotten a very similar type value of guy. Now they didn't get an edge rusher, and I get that. That being said, they've invested a bunch already in the defensive line. Like they got Grady Jarrett after the Falcons cut him. They even got Deo Odeingbo from the Colts as well. And then getting Shemar Turner in there, and there's other they have invested a lot in the defense, especially like in the front seven over the past couple of years. So
Yeah.
I think maybe they evaluated some youth in there, and Dennis Allen coming in. I think he likes the guys that they have in there. So I see your point. This definitely was a Ben Johnson, like, hey, I want my guys type draft. It's
Yeah.
like so
Yeah.
we got that, and that's what I think is going to be very interesting with this draft class overall is especially too in the receiver room now. But I'll just even say pass catching room. Yeah, I mean you're going to have DJ Moore, who's I think one of the more premier receivers in the league. Uh, he's finally like is getting into a good spot to where like he's going to be under a competent offense that he can get a lot of targets. Right, he was already getting a lot of targets to begin with, but I think Rome Dunze started to come on strong a little bit later in the year, and now he's going to have a clear opportunity to be number two. Now Luther Burden's in there as well, that slot guy. So and they've improved the interior of the defense, the interior of the offensive line as well. So it's like they've made all the right moves moving forward. Now,
Yeah.
the big issue though is that it's Chicago. I think that's the biggest issue. It's just they just seem to not
Yeah.
have any good luck whatsoever.
Well, hopefully, they've invested a lot in the trenches and beefed that up a lot. So hopefully that pays dividends. They can keep Caleb Williams upright. Now, if Caleb Williams can develop into the player that we all know he can be, that'll I think really kind of put Chicago over the edge. And it's no
Yeah,
longer about Chicago having bad luck. It's about Chicago having an immense amount of talent on the roster. And I think just looking at this roster and this draft class comes in and helps them win, I think, right away. I think they did a really good job here adding talent, elevating the base level of talent on this roster, and giving Ben Johnson pieces that he can go
yeah,
and win with. So to give this a grade, how many picks did they make? Made 8 picks. Um, I'll give this draft class a B. So my average draft grade is a C. And so I feel like they made more than 7 picks. They took players at or below where I expected them to go. So they got good value. Like Luther Burden, I thought should have been a first round pick for sure. Um, Kyle Monangai, I thought would have been an early day 3 running back. They got him at the end of day 3. So I feel like this is a slightly above average draft.
yeah. I'll go with A minus. I think they got good guys. I even think too. We touched on Ozzy Trapilo a little bit as well, but Braxton Jones is coming into last year of his rookie contract. He was a 5th round pick overall, and Ozzy Trapilo does have the intangibles to potentially take over that spot at left tackle if they're not satisfied with Braxton Jones after this year. Not saying he's bad at all. I'm just saying like I get that move, and you're talking about depth. I think Darnell Wright's kind of solidified his spot there
Yeah.
at right tackle. So uh I think then you had that. Then you had Shemar Turner beefing up as well. He's going to be able to learn behind Grady Jarrett. I and then I like the skill position players that they got. I thought they were really effective in the first 2 days, and really just the first 2 rounds. Also, too. I mean, they made 4 picks in the top 60. I think or
Yeah.
top 62. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give it an A minus. I think some of it maybe is not fair to them just because his class isn't really that spectacular. But
That's fair.
with the value overall that they got, I like the moves that they made. And to your point, like I think these guys can help them win right now.
Yeah, you convinced me. I'll give him a B plus. I felt like that was
Good job.
you did a good job selling me on this draft class. So, but no, I thought they did a good job. Let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of the Chicago Bears 2025 NFL draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you have done differently? Then that we'll see you guys next time.